Hey everyone, it's Vox. We're going a little early today because tonight I'm doing a brainstorm with the brainstorm members at the usual time I do this. So had a few spare moments, so I thought I'd pop on and do this. The interesting thing today is the way that the media and the left are shedding copious tears over the stranded invaders. I'm sure you feel bad. I know I'm choking back tears at the idea that there are some Muslims who are caught in Cairo, apparently, and they're unable to get back into the United States to work for the left-wing social media that is attempting to attack us all and destroy everything that we love and value. So, it's really kind of astonishing how utterly shameless the left is. They make no attempt whatsoever to be consistent in any way. Suddenly we're concerned. They're concerned about, the poor H-1B green card holder who's not an American, and who's actually probably taken a job from an American, and so now suddenly we're supposed to be worried about this. Brainstorm you can sign up for on the blog. Look on the left side. It's $10 a month for a 2-year subscription. If it's of interest to you, go ahead and take part. The thing is that these are the same people who love to say it's the law. It doesn't matter. You have to bake a cake for someone you don't approve of because it's the law. Well, guess what? It's now the law that you can't, that you're not allowed to simply fly into the USA if you happen to be a citizen of one of the 7 countries that the God Emperor is blocking. It's the law. What can we do about it? And so. It's always effective to remember their rhetoric, and consistently turn it around on them. And the important thing too is to remember that they're going to pull out these sob stories at every given opportunity. That's what the left does. Their whole form of argument is emotional manipulation, and so they're trying to make you feel bad. Now, in this particular case, it's going to be unsuccessful with the vast majority of us. Most of us are not prone to be too upset over the idea that we might have a few less Muslims in the country. Most of us are thinking, hey, that's a really good thing. But the important thing is to remember is that they're going to do this about things that you care about too. Maybe you happen to be particularly sensitive to the plight of the Jewish people, and you believe the Holocaust is the worst thing that ever happened in the history of man. They're going to use that to play on your emotions. Maybe you happen to be particularly concerned about children, and you're concerned about children being educated. Well, guess what they're going to play on? So don't be too arrogant or confident or cocky about the fact that one of their rhetorical devices didn't work on you, because something will. Unless and until you train yourself to refuse to allow yourself to be emotioned out of a position that you've reasoned yourself into, you're going to be susceptible to some form of emotional manipulation. Now, and all of us are. We all are. I happen to be susceptible to certain emotional arguments more than others. Everybody's different. Everyone's got different triggers. But the important thing is to understand that you have them, and not to think that you're some sort of Vulcan who's beyond all that. Sorry, just little SJW blood to perk up the old system. But yeah, think about even music can work that way. There's songs that can bring us to tears. I found myself getting kind of emotional when I went to see Les Miserables, right at the very end of the first act, when they break into "Do you hear the people sing?" I wanted to get up on stage and wave a flag. It was actually kind of funny. We'd seen Les Mis in London, my friends and I, and so we were big fans. And it came to Minneapolis, and so we got tickets and we took our dates. And it was kind of funny because my best friend's girlfriend was sitting next to me, and she's pretty emotional, she's pretty sensitive. I think she started just sobbing before the second song. I think she started crying when the priest gave Jean Valjean the silver. It wasn't even a song, she's just bursting into tears. And so I'm sitting there, and then at a certain point I hear this kind of sniffling on the other side of me, and I assumed that it was my other friend's girlfriend. And so I brought a fair amount of Kleenex with me, knowing that the girls were probably going to be crying. And so I hold it out to her, and then she whispers to me, "No, it's not me. I don't need any Kleenex." All of a sudden, his hand reaches across her. My friend grabs him. It was pretty good. But the point is that we all have emotions. We all are affected by rhetoric that is designed to play on those emotions. And what we're seeing today, what we're seeing in the headlines from the Washington Post, the New York Times, and others, is they're going to attempt to make us feel bad for trying to make us feel bad for these poor people from Somalia or from the other banned countries to get across the border. And it's only going to get worse. This is just the first feeble attempt at it, and it's going to get a lot worse. They're going to start putting up, pictures of poor, freezing Syrian children. They're going to start putting up pictures of starving Somalis or whatever. Some of them might even be real. I mean, we know perfectly well that most of them are going to be fake. It's going to be the situation like the, if you may recall, the nurse from Kuwait, who was talking about how the Iraqi soldiers were taking babies out of the ventilators and killing them and all that sort of thing. And of course, it turned out that she was actually the daughter of the ambassador to the U.S. It's a total lie. And so, this is what they do. This is what the media does. They're in the business of manipulating opinions and manipulating minds, and that's why it's very important to always be skeptical and to always be aware when the narrative is coming. This is the narrative that's coming. The narrative that is on the way, that is going to be addressed at all of us, is going to be designed to make us feel so bad for these poor people who have to live in their own country instead of coming to your country. You should feel so bad for them that you should dismantle all the laws and attack the God Emperor and call him very bad names, because obviously it's very bad if everyone in the entire world cannot come to the United States and live off of the welfare system there at all times. I mean, obviously it's ridiculous when you describe it that way, but that's not how they present it. They present it in a manner that actually works on people, especially that works on people who tend to be more emotional, who tend to be more sensitive, who tend to pride themselves on their concern for others, especially children. That's why everything is constantly directed at, oh no, we have to, you remember the last year in Europe, the little kid who drowned, and they actually laid him out on the beach. That picture that you saw of the kid wearing the red jeans and the or the jeans and the red shirt, that was not actually how the kid drowned. There are pictures that they showed of somebody picking the kid up from the rocks where they found him and laying him on the beach in order to make it a more photogenic image. And so that's how shameless they are. That's how shameless they are, and that's how ruthless they are. They're not afraid to completely manipulate the imagery that they use, the language that they use. All of it is designed to pull at your heartstrings. And so I'm not saying that you should be heartless. I'm saying that you should discount it and ignore it anytime someone is attempting to manipulate you by pulling at your heartstrings. And again, that's interesting. There's this comment, there's a Palestinian kid who's been photographed as dead a dozen times over the years. Yeah, the Palestinians do that all the time. They like to have people play dead at the funerals. There's a really funny video I saw once where they're carrying the corpse, and then somebody stumbled and they went down, and the corpse got up and hopped back on the stretcher that they were carrying on. But that's the reality of the world we live in. It's full of lies, and it's full of deceit, and that's why I'm telling you all the time that the important thing is to speak the truth and be committed to the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I may get things wrong, but something that I think the highest praise that I was ever given by anybody was by somebody who, by his own admission, disliked me. He said, I don't like Vox. I don't agree with him on much, but if he ever said that the sky was green outside, I wouldn't even bother looking out the window because the guy doesn't lie. And so, and the reason I don't isn't because I'm any more intrinsically honest than you or anybody else. It's because in this day and age, with the internet being so readily available for checking facts and that sort of thing, it's almost criminally stupid to lie about it. Any lie that is told, regardless of whether it's a false image, whether you're saying something that isn't true, anything that you say can easily be checked and can be easily confirmed to either be true or false. And so it's a huge mistake to give into the temptation to shade the truth and to start saying things about people or about facts or about history or whatever that aren't true, that aren't true. In fact, if you're not sure that they're not true, say as much. I don't know for a fact what's behind Pizzagate. I don't know exactly what's going on. I have no idea. I'm not privy to the truth. I don't know any of the people involved. It's not something I pay any attention to directly. But what I can say is that, that situation stinks. That situation is definitely has my suspicions aroused. Am I going to look into it? No, I'm not in a position to. Hopefully the FBI and the Justice Administration are looking into that. But the important thing is, speak the truth as you understand it. Speak the truth as you see it. Speak the truth as you know it. And that is what is ultimately going to make the alt-right successful. And so the more that people see that we are simply speaking the truth about history, about current events, about what everybody sees going on around them, the less credibility the left is going to have. We don't need to dance and manipulate and play their games. I'm not saying that there's no place for rhetoric. Obviously there is. But at the end of the day, the best rhetoric is based on truth. So anyhow, that's all I've got for today. So what we're working on a couple things with Castalia House. We'll have some new books to introduce soon. We're working on a 3-volume set of my 11 years of columns at WorldNet Daily. And we've also got some great stuff coming out from John C. Wright, from Christopher Hallpike, the great anthropologist, and also an interesting sort of medieval Japanese murder mystery thriller called 6 Expressions of Death from a new author named Mojo Mori. So we're excited about all of that. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in, and I will be back online tomorrow evening, probably at the normal time. Like I said, tonight we're doing a brainstorm, so I won't be doing that. Oh, and that's actually something else to point out. I did Stefan Molyneux show the other day, and the video has been posted. It's the usual 90-minute pontification fest between Steph and I. And so I if you're interested, check it out. I think it was a good video. I really do need to get that microphone. I've got it on order. I'm waiting for it. One of those little directional mics that plugs into this thing. So hopefully that will improve the audio both here and on Stefan's show. So anyhow, thanks very much, and we will see you soon.